So why do you want this job?
I just really enjoy being a housemaid. For the right families, of course.
You know this is a live-in position, right? Ta-da! This is your room.
It's perfect.
Okay, good.
The Housemaid, 2025, stands as one of the most talked-about films of the year, generating widespread conversation long before its official release. This psychological thriller, produced by a major streaming platform, reunites audiences with a familiar blend of suspense, emotional intensity, and social commentary. The anticipation surrounding the film was fueled by the pedigree of its creative team, the strength of its cast, and the way it promises to explore dark, unsettling themes beneath the surface of domestic life. From the earliest announcements, followers of contemporary cinema were intrigued by how this story rooted in tension and the uneasy balance of power between employer and employee would be interpreted in this new adaptation. As details emerged, it became clear that The Housemaid 2025 was positioning itself not just as a genre piece, but as a work that uses its thriller framework to engage with issues of class, gender, and psychological vulnerability. With production values that reflect its substantial budget, the film invests deeply in atmosphere, character development, and the slow, creeping dread that defines its narrative arc. Fans and critics alike began to speculate on its potential impact, comparing it to earlier films in the psychological thriller canon and debating how it might redefine expectations for the genre in the mid-2020s. This level of engagement underscored the cultural weight of The Housemaid before most audiences had even seen a frame of the final product. The casting choices for The Housemaid played a significant role in heightening interest and shaping expectations. At the center of the story is a rising star whose performance anchors the emotional intensity of the plot, bringing both vulnerability and complexity to a character trying to navigate a perilous domestic landscape. Alongside her is an ensemble of accomplished actors whose careers span both film and television, each bringing depth and nuance to their roles. This mix of established talent and emerging performers created a dynamic on-screen chemistry that was widely praised in early screenings and press materials. The casting directors made strategic decisions to focus on actors capable of conveying subtle psychological shifts, a necessity given the film's emphasis on internal tension as much as external suspense. Interviews with the cast revealed their own thoughtful engagement with the material, describing how they prepared for roles that demanded emotional range and an ability to convey unspoken dread. The collaborative energy on set was noted by those present, with the lead often working closely with co-stars to refine scenes that hinge on the fragile balance of trust and suspicion. Such dedication translated into performances that were widely expected to be contenders in awards conversations, further amplifying buzz around the project. The casting, therefore, did more than attract attention. It laid the groundwork for a film experience rooted in performance, character interaction, and psychological realism, rather than mere spectacle. Before its release, plot details of The Housemaid became a subject of both fascination and guarded secrecy. The core narrative revolves around a young woman who enters into employment with an affluent family, only to find that beneath their polished exterior lies a series of unsettling secrets. What initially appears as a straightforward job quickly escalates into a labyrinth of psychological games, blurred morality, and existential dread. The story unfolds at a deliberate pace, allowing audiences to immerse themselves in the protagonist's perspective as she grapples with shifting power dynamics and the eerie ambiance that pervades the family's home. Key plot developments hinge on carefully constructed reveals, where minutiae seemingly minor at first glance take on ominous significance as the narrative progresses. Themes of trust, manipulation, and survival are interwoven with moments of quiet terror and moral ambiguity. As the lead becomes increasingly entangled in the web of the household secrets, viewers are invited to question not only what is real within the story's world, but also how perception shapes reality. This narrative structure positions The Housemaid as more than a conventional thriller. It is an introspective journey that asks penetrating questions about identity, agency, and the often unseen forces that govern social relationships. The plot's intricacies and psychological depth became key talking points in early reviews, with many commentators emphasizing how the film rewards careful attention and emotional investment. The release strategy for The Housemaid was crafted to maximize both audience reach and cultural impact. Scheduled for a global premiere in 2025, the film was rolled out across multiple territories in a coordinated fashion, allowing for simultaneous engagement from critics, influencers, and moviegoers around the world. This approach was indicative of an understanding that the film's themes, while specific in their narrative context, resonated broadly with contemporary conversations about socioeconomic divides and personal autonomy. Prior to its wide release, select festival screenings offered early critical exposure, where the film received acclaim for its direction, performances, and atmospheric tension. These early showings helped build momentum as word of mouth spread through social media and entertainment press circles. The marketing campaign was measured rather than bombastic, focusing on evocative visuals, character-driven teasers, and interviews that highlighted the film's psychological complexity. This strategy aimed to attract an audience that values thoughtful storytelling and narrative depth, while still engaging fans of traditional suspense cinema. In the weeks leading up to release, advanced screenings for key demographic groups generated enthusiastic responses that translated into strong pre-release metrics. By the time The Housemaid became widely available on its designated platform and in theaters where applicable, it had already established itself as a must-see title for the season. The careful orchestration of its release underscored the confidence of its producers and distributors in the film's ability to resonate with a diverse audience. The trailer for The Housemaid provided a compelling glimpse into the film's world without revealing its deeper mysteries. Crafted to intrigue rather than inform, the preview emphasized mood, visual contrast, and the precarious balance between normalcy and the uncanny. Early sequences highlighted the protagonist's arrival at the family's grand residence, set against a score that juxtaposed elegance with unsettled tension. Key moments showcased fleeting expressions of doubt, suspicion, and emotional fracture, hinting at the psychological unraveling to come. The trailer's visual language relied on tight framing, shadowed interiors, and deliberate pacing, all designed to evoke curiosity and unease. Brief intercuts between characters suggested layered relationships and unspoken conflicts, leaving viewers with more questions than answers. While certain narrative beats were teased, such as the protagonist's growing discomfort and moments of confrontation with the family members, nothing in the trailer divulged the core twists or resolutions of the plot. This restraint was intentional, aligning with a marketing philosophy that valued atmosphere over exposition. Audiences responded to the trailer with heightened anticipation, interpreting its imagery and tone in myriad ways across fan forums and social media platforms. The balance it struck between revealing enough to captivate and withholding enough to preserve mystery became a benchmark for its promotional campaign. As a piece of cinematic marketing, the trailer succeeded in drawing attention not only from genre enthusiasts, but also from viewers who appreciate films that challenge and engage on multiple levels. Critical reactions that emerged following early screenings of The Housemaid were notably positive, with particular praise directed at the film's ability to sustain tension without resorting to conventional jump scares or facile plot twists. Critics observed that the film's strength lay in its commitment to psychological complexity, offering a narrative that rewards patience and attentive viewing. Many reviews highlighted the lead performance as a standout element, citing the actor's capacity to convey vulnerability, resilience, and growing unease with remarkable subtlety. Secondary characters were also recognized for the layers they brought to the story, enriching the central mystery through nuanced interactions rather than overt exposition. The direction was frequently lauded for its visual precision, with framing, color palettes, and sound design all contributing to an immersive atmosphere that felt both intimate and disquieting. Some commentators drew comparisons to other influential psychological thrillers, noting how The Housemaid distinguished itself through its thematic depth and character-centric storytelling. While a minority of critics expressed reservations about the film's deliberate pace, most agreed that this was an intentional choice that ultimately enhanced the emotional and intellectual impact of the experience. These early critical assessments played a significant role in shaping audience expectations, encouraging viewers to approach the film with an appreciation for its craft and its thematic ambitions rather than solely as entertainment. The overall critical consensus positioned The Housemaid as a significant cinematic event of 2025, capable of sparking discussion beyond the confines of genre fandom. Audience reactions following the public release of The Housemaid echoed many of the sentiments expressed by critics, with social media platforms and discussion forums filling with thoughtful analysis and personal reflections. Viewers were particularly drawn to the film's exploration of power imbalances and the psychological toll of navigating environments where appearances mask deeper, unsettling dynamics. Many audience members noted how the film prompted them to reconsider their assumptions about the characters' motivations and the nature of the relationships depicted on screen. This engagement extended beyond simple plot speculation, with discussions often centered on thematic interpretation, symbolic imagery, and the emotional resonance of key scenes. The film's ending, in particular, became a focal point for debate, as viewers interpreted its resolution through diverse lenses, reflecting on the implications for the protagonist's journey and the broader commentary embedded in the narrative. Such engagement demonstrated that The Housemaid had succeeded in provoking sustained thought and conversation, transcending the ephemeral buzz typical of many contemporary releases. The film's capacity to inspire dialogue about its artistic choices and thematic undertones contributed to its cultural footprint, reinforcing its status as a work that invites introspection and debate rather than passive consumption. Audience testimonials highlighted the lasting impression the film made, with many viewers expressing admiration for its bold storytelling and emotional depth. The technical achievements of The Housemaid were also a significant part of its acclaim. The cinematography was widely praised for its meticulous composition, using light, shadow, and spatial relationships to evoke a pervasive sense of unease. This visual language complemented the film's narrative architecture, reinforcing thematic tensions and enhancing the psychological impact of key scenes. Sound design and score were similarly recognized as integral components of the film's atmosphere, with subtle auditory cues amplifying the emotional weight of otherwise quiet moments. The editing was noted for its rhythm and precision, maintaining narrative coherence, while allowing tension to build organically. Behind the camera, the creative team demonstrated a unified vision that balanced aesthetic restraint with expressive force, resulting in a cinematic experience that was both polished and provocative. These technical elements not only supported the performances and storytelling, but elevated them, creating an immersive environment that invited deep engagement from viewers. Industry professionals highlighted the film's craft in various outlets, citing it as an exemplar of how technical mastery can serve psychological storytelling without overshadowing character nuance. Collectively, these aspects contributed to the reputation of The Housemaid as not just a narrative success, but a technical triumph, reflective of high standards in contemporary film production. In the months following its release, The Housemaid continued to generate academic interest and cultural commentary. Film scholars and critics incorporated the movie into discussions about class representation, gendered labor dynamics, and the ethics of narrative perspective in modern cinema. Panels at film festivals and academic conferences examined its thematic layers, situating the work within broader conversations about social structures and psychological narrative form. Essays and reviews in print and online journals explored the symbolism embedded within its mise en scène, interrogating how domestic spaces can be rendered sites of both comfort and threat. This sustained intellectual engagement underscored the film's capacity to function as a text with multiple interpretive possibilities, rather than a singular, easily digestible narrative. Such discourse extended the film's relevance beyond entertainment, positioning it as a work with implications for cultural critique and artistic inquiry. The Housemaid's resonance in academic and critical spheres suggested that its impact would endure beyond its initial release window, inviting ongoing reflection on the intersections of storytelling, social commentary, and cinematic form.